Hey everyone, welcome back to Singularity. I am back, like I said, later the same evening, to finish off disease things. But first I'm going to do some things here. I don't have enough for any of the upgrades for that, but I can do space race here. During this period of fierce competition between the two countries, both the USSR and the United States made new discoveries and helped to propel the work forward to the age of space exploration. And then let's do computer terminal. Computers used to be so huge that they would take up an entire room. These days they have neat little boxes that can fit comfortably on our desks. My dad remembers computer terminals that took up whole rooms. And he's talked about them and how cool they were when they were like first a new thing. Okay, turbine. A rotary mechanical device that is used to generate energy. Okay. And then I'll do Hi Cosmos. He's kind of upset right now because he ripped a hole in his bed and ended up fluffing everything inside of it out onto the floor, so he doesn't have that bed right now. And normally he has that bed, so he's kind of upset right now. I'll sew it up for him later. I put the fluff back in so he didn't try to eat it, but yeah. Anyway, computer chip. A fundamental element of the computer, a chip is a set of electronic circuits that contain data. Over the years, their size has gotten smaller, but the amount of information they can hold has only increased. Video games. I should do this considering the content of most of my channel. You're playing one right now is the only description for video games. Okay. Cell phone. Forget the unwieldiness of home phones with their long cords and heavy bases. Now our phones fit in our pockets. My family still has a home phone. Ah, so close to getting 50 of those. Okay. Okay. I will, oh, I should go to the other one first, but oh well. Yay. Let's finish this quickly. Not enough. Really? Okay, fine. I'll come back to that. Okay. Here we go. I need... So, 1486 to present is malaria, infected unknown, death rate 14 to 28%. I have survived it, apparently. And then I still need so much for Aztec epidemic. There we go. I don't think there will really be much to upgrade until I get that done, so we'll have to see. Yeah, hopefully it's going up faster now. Now that I have something that's multiplying malaria a lot. Okay. Okay. Dense lunar atmosphere. Yes, let's do it. Make Titan faster. Okay. I have to collect so much to be able to get Enceladus. This is gonna take so long. Okay, let's see. I can rank up magnetic field, which is going to, why is it in picture mode? Make Ganymede faster, which is convenient. Okay. The percentage toward getting Enceladus is going up, because earlier it was 66, 68, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was lower before. So that is good. I just need so much. I need ammonia crystals because I really want Saturn to go faster. I got it down to 10 minutes already, but it's still slow. I'm not even halfway on the Stardust, and it's been days. It's been at least a couple of videos since I restarted this particular one, but it's been like 4 or 5 days, I think, in real time, and it's still barely there at all. This is gonna start taking so long. Alright. Oh, actually, Callisto's earning more than Ganymede is. Maybe I should focus on that instead. But also Jupiter is expensive, but it earns a lot. Alright. Alright. I'm about a quarter of the way to getting this, which is very good because I was worried it was gonna take way longer, but it actually is going pretty quickly now. My ranking right now isn't very good though. I'm 422nd. But that's okay. It's not all about ranking. Sometimes it's just about playing something and having fun, and in this game, learning a lot of stuff. I'm gonna let that go for a bit, because I want to get enough of this to level this up again. There's so much left to go on this thing of leveling up this one to 500. Who knows if that will happen or not. I don't know. Probably not. I saw on the I didn't really read all of it, but I saw briefly on the thing about the recent update that came out for this game. They were talking about that part of the reason they have this new ranking system for these events was they were reworking one that existed in the past. And part of the reason for that was that some people were cheating. And I kind of feel like if you want to fully complete this whole thing in the amount of time that there is, you kind of have to. Like, I don't want to personally, but for people who are obsessed with, like, I need to finish all of it, I feel like it would either be a thing of being at your computer the entire time clicking on things, or somehow cheating. I don't even know how you would go about cheating in this game. But yeah, I feel like it's not really realistic for people who aren't just at their desk the entire day. And there's nothing wrong with that, too. Like, I am the kind of person when I play games, like on Steam, I like to try and get as many achievements as I can and stuff. But if I don't, that's also okay. And same with this. It's like, if I can get a really high ranking and collect every single thing in here, that would be really cool. But if I don't, it's not gonna, like, crush my entire spirit for days. I might kind of be like, aw. Like with the T one, I was like, oh, I wish I could have learned more because it was really, really interesting to me. This one's also very interesting. But it's like, if I don't get all of it, it's just kind of like, I'm a full-time university student. I have a dog to take care of. I have things beyond just, like, clicking on Contagion. So I bet what they do is they buy tons of these purple cubes and then they spend them on multiplying the income, and then also they probably click on every single one where you have to use a cube to open it. That might be how they cheat. I don't know if that's cheating necessarily. I feel like what the developers were talking about was somehow more cheating than what that is, because that's just pay to play, which is technically not cheating because games are written to have that as a part of them. Do I think it makes certain games much less enjoyable? Yes, but it's not the same as cheating from my understanding of video games. I think there's only, well, on Steam I buy all of the games that I play that cost money to play, but those are like one-time cost kind of things. I think there's only one like mobile game type thing that I've paid for in terms of like a pay-to-play thing, but I only did it a little bit. I'm trying to think. I know some people get super addicted to that kind of pay-to-play and spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on mobile games. I don't think I've ever done that. I think I've spent like $3 for like a one-time upgrade or something. And I think there's one app, it's not a game, it's a productivity app called Forest. Random shout out to Forest, I guess. But it's basically like you plant a tree or a flower or whatever plant you pick to plant, and you set a certain amount of time and you have to focus and not leave the app and do stuff on your phone for that amount of time, and it grows a little tree. And it is a free app, but I did pay for the upgrade to it because I wanted to be able to have, first of all, you can get more types of plants that way, but the thing that I really wanted was there was an option to have certain apps that it was okay to go to. So for example, I really wanted to have Chrome be allowed for me to use because sometimes if I was doing homework, I needed to look something up, and it was easier to do it on my phone while keeping a document open on my computer or something like that. Anyway, Aztec epidemic. Let me click this first. An unintentional ally during Cortez's invasion of Mexico. Smallpox devastates Aztec populations lacking immunity to the virus. It kills up to 8 million people while incapacitating many survivors, leaving them vulnerable to future outbreaks. Well, that sucks. Oh, I forgot that was... Okay. Where the heck are these gonna be then? Those are not even visible. I bet I have to get this first. So smallpox is more efficient. I should be leveling that up then. Oh, this is expensive. Or like producing a ton now. And this is gonna make human life more efficient, which I'm excited about. Oh, it is going up very fast, actually. Okay, I will come back to that. That's going up very fast, and I like that. Let's see how these guys are doing. Still being expensive and producing slow for the amount that I need from them. I need this one to be automated so bad, but it is not, sadly. Anyway, back to apps and what I pay for or not, and Forest. I really like Forest because one of the things that I've been trying to do, is I love books. I have a whole channel about books other than this one. But the thing about it is with like being a student and also running this channel and taking care of Cosmos and just doing things that I need to do day to day, I really haven't read consistently since like high school, and I have floor-to-ceiling boxes of books that I need to read still, because I own so many books that I just haven't read or haven't read in so long. Stegosaurus goes so fast. And so one of the things that I've been doing is trying to read for at least half an hour every day. That's like recreational reading, not like reading articles for school or something. And so I've been trying to do that. And so I'll just set Forest for like half an hour and grow a little tree while I read a book. It's fun. Because I feel like I'm definitely, not to call out anyone, but I'm not the most tech addicted person in my family. Like, if I have to spend a day without my phone, it's whatever. But one of the things that I have been doing recently is I've been wearing headphones around the house a lot more, because I've been learning more about autism and sort of aids for certain things with that. And I've found that if I wear headphones around the house while I'm doing things and just like cooking or doing dishes or stuff like that, and this is probably not something you would necessarily understand if you're not autistic, but sounds are draining for me, and it was a thing where it was happening to me, but I didn't notice how much it was until I started spending more time wearing headphones and kind of cutting out sounds, except for sounds that I had control over, like playing music or listening to a video or a podcast or something. There's really only one podcast I listen to. But anyway, so because of that, now I have been spending more hours on my phone if I were to look at, like, usage analytics or something. But, like, I'm not on social media a ton. Especially not posting. I don't think I have a Facebook, mostly to promote my books, and I have Instagram. And I don't think I've been on Facebook in like 6 months. It's funny because my birthday's in December, and I always check Facebook like twice a year, and so I'll always go on in like the middle of the summer for some reason, and suddenly see like birthday messages from December and be like, oh, thanks! It's 6 months late, but I appreciate that you noticed it was my birthday. Yeah. And Instagram I use a little bit more than Facebook, but I also don't post a ton or really interact a ton with people on it. So, yeah, I don't know. Certain individuals in my family are more tech addicted than I am, though. Again, not saying names, but if they watch this video, I'm pretty sure they'll know who they are. That goes for my extended family, too, who I'm pretty sure are not watching this video, because I don't know if they even know about this channel, and if they do, they've never given any indication they cared about it, so probably they're not. If they are, hi, sorry for that assumption, but, yeah, one of my extended family members is also very, very, very tech addicted, to the point of us having, like, in my family, and that also goes for my, like, aunts and uncles and their families, there's a rule, no electronic devices at the table. I feel like that's kind of a common rule now. Maybe. I don't know. But pretty much unless you really have to, like, look something up to add to a discussion or, like, urgently take a call or something, we try to avoid electronics at the table, which I think is good, but, what, like, that cousin is the one who always has their phone at the table. One of my uncles, too, also equally tech addicted and will try to get away with the phone at the table. Like, during a holiday, like during Thanksgiving or something, those two will try to have their phones at the table. I'm struggling to get into the billions in Mesozoic, and then look, 1.86 quintillion from being gone for a little bit in this. Still very, very slow on the collecting stardust situation, but this is going so fast. I feel like it might help that I didn't get a phone until I was older than a lot of people around my age, or any kind of device. I got a computer before I got a phone. I got a laptop. And before that, I was allowed to use the computer a little bit, but my parents only let me use it for a little bit. But I know lots of people in my grade who had phones in like 5th grade, 6th grade, even 4th grade. And I didn't have a phone until the middle of 8th grade. And I honestly think that helped me not be as tech addicted as a lot of people in my generation I feel are, because I feel like a lot of people of my generation got it when they were still very young and like 10 or around that age, and I didn't get one until I was 14, and that's not a huge age difference, I guess, but I think that it definitely made a difference because while I didn't have one, I was still learning how to like enjoy things and do things and experience the world without doing it all through an electronic device. And I definitely do appreciate being able to use my phone to enhance my experience of the world. Like if I see something pretty and I can take a picture of it to remember it, I enjoy that. But also I'm not gonna be like on my phone a ton all the time if I'm in a place where it's like nice to just look at things. And I think a lot of people in my generation, because they got a phone so young, they were like, how I need to experience things and like process things in the world is through technology. Like if I don't post something to social media, it didn't happen. If I don't like record this new whatever, it's like no one cares. And I don't know, I feel like that's kind of weird for me to say, considering that I'm sitting here creating content for YouTube, which is technically a social media platform. But I kind of feel as if YouTube is slightly different, in my mind at least, from social media like Instagram or Facebook or that kind of thing. At least to me, because Instagram, I feel like YouTube is media more than social, whereas Instagram and Facebook are more social, if that makes any sense at all. Like, my dad spends a ton of time on Facebook, and it's always interacting with other people. And when I use social media, I don't really interact with people as much. When I'm on Instagram, normally I'm just looking at things. I'm not actually commenting or liking or re-sharing or whatever you do on Instagram. I'm just kind of looking. And there is kind of a social element in that, like, I know what some of my old acquaintances are doing. One of them just got engaged, which is weird to me because they're 1 year older than me. And I'm like, oh, people my age are married, they're having children, they're whatever they're doing, and it's weird to me. But I find out most of that through Instagram, that that's happening to people that I know. But YouTube, I feel like, is, I mean, there are comments and people do like the videos, so there's a little bit of socialness occurring. But on Instagram or Facebook or those other kind of social medias, not always, but a lot of the time, you know a majority of the people that you follow, or maybe not who follow you, but you probably know who you follow, and so you're seeing stuff from people that you actually know. And on YouTube, I feel like it's more creators putting something out there to an audience who they don't really know. And a few people that I know in real life watch my videos and comment and like on them and whatever they're doing, which is always fun. But then there are certain people who regularly interact with my videos, but I have no idea who they are in real life. I have no idea how old they are. I have no idea what they look like, where they are. And that's not to say that I need to know that or even want to know that, but it's just a very different experience on YouTube as a social media. Because I feel like the point of YouTube is, maybe not when it first started out, but now is more for people to make media for other people to enjoy. Or in some cases to make media to sort of immortalize an event. Or an experience, which I have done. My very first video on this channel is a slideshow of photography, astrophotography of Comet Neowise, which was a really cool event that will never be seen again. Neowise melted going around the sun and no longer exists and will never return. No, Neowise, wait a second. I don't think Neowise melted. Neowise is just never coming back to our solar system based on its orbit. Ison is the one that melted and no longer exists. I've seen several comets. I did not get to do astrophotography of Ison. Ison happened before. But Neowise was a really cool experience. And I'm actually gonna have another video, maybe before this, maybe after this, of the aurora, because there were solar storms happening and I was able to actually get really cool pictures of it all the way in California. And so I want to make a video to kind of like commemorate that and be able to find that and watch it easily rather than digging through hundreds of pictures on my phone. And so for me, there is kind of a separation between YouTube and other types of social media. I'm only on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. So, well, I actually technically have a TikTok for my other channel, but I only post on it. I've never looked at anything on TikTok. I don't really like TikTok. I don't really want to spend my time on TikTok. It's just there to help promote my book reviews. I have an Instagram for that channel too, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like this became a much bigger, like, philosophical analysis of social media and what it is than I was intending when I started it. But now that I'm thinking about it, I do think that it's very interesting how it technically is social media. But on a lot of other social media, there's more of like a balance, I feel, personally. Like, when my dad uses Facebook, and I'm going to use his experience as an example because he uses social media much more than I do. He's like commenting to people who are commenting back, and most of the time they know each other from somewhere, and they'll get into these back and forth discussions, and it's very like give and take kind of in those interactions, and I know that's not how all social media interactions go. But when you are on a social media where you're following people that you actually know, I do feel like there is more of that. Whereas I feel like for YouTube, there's one person creating something that then other people are commenting on or liking or sharing or whatever they're doing. And it's different because they're like watching what that one person has made, but they're not really making a thing in response of equal. I need to say this carefully because I'm not trying to say people who interact with YouTube videos are less than whoever made the video. But with posts on Facebook that my dad makes, the people posting usually take about the same time per post. Like, they'll post like a paragraph and then another person will post a paragraph back. He does a lot of astronomy things and they have long discussions as far as I know. But like on YouTube, you have a person who spends minutes or hours creating a video, editing a video, uploading a video. And then the people who are interacting back with it aren't making a video in response. They're just commenting or liking or subscribing or whatever they're doing. And so it's very interesting because there is a different dynamic in that than two people contributing the same type of thing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not that people who comment or don't create are any less than people who do create. They're just contributing in a different way. Like, I appreciate everyone who comments or likes or subscribes or interacts with my videos in any way. It makes me very happy when I see people's comments, and a lot of times people comment on Cosmos and they're like, oh, he's so cute, and that always makes me happy because I love him and I think he's adorable, and it's fun to be able to share him and show people funny things he's doing, and so that's definitely fun. But it is a different way of adding to YouTube than people making videos and putting them out. And I hope that isn't coming across as egotistical or self-important or anything, because that's really not what I'm trying to say. I don't know if the words that I'm saying are conveying what I want to say very well. It's one of these autistic situations where I'm like, I know what I want to say, but are the words translating it the way that I am meaning to? But on the other hand, like, I do feel like, for me personally, I make videos because I want to and because I have fun with them. At this point, I am not monetized or anything on YouTube. I'm getting closer to being able to, but I am currently not eligible because I don't have enough watch hours on my channel. But so I'm not getting anything out of it in terms of like earning money or anything like that. And I already have like over 650 videos on my channel. And so I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it for like fame or notoriety or anything like that. I'm doing it because it's really fun and I enjoy it. And like I said, my first one with Neowise was something that I did to kind of commemorate that and make it into a little slideshow format and be able to share it with family and friends to be like, I did astrophotography, look how cool it is, and here's this comet that we saw. And with that one, also if you haven't, go check out that video because I personally think it's really cool. I'm biased because I made it and I took the pictures and my dad took some of the pictures and I'm an astronomy geek, but you know, it's definitely like, I do this to have fun doing it, and I feel like if I can bring enjoyment to people or give people entertainment or maybe make someone's day better by listening to my crazy tangents, then that makes me extra happy. And whenever I receive comments about my videos or Cosmos or anything like that, it really does make me happy. And it's not like, yes, people are giving me attention, but it's like, oh, people are engaged enough that they actually thought of something and wanted to comment on this. I recently got a comment on one of my Fish Pond Farm videos, and it was nice because it was like, I haven't gotten many comments. I don't get comments on my longer videos very often. And so it's like, whoa, okay. I should be able to afford that in not too long. Yeah, like I got this comment on Stardew Valley, and it's like, I haven't received comments on my Stardew Valley videos in a little while, and that's okay. Like, people don't have to comment on my videos if they aren't wanting to comment on my videos or if they're busy or whatever. Like, I don't comment on many YouTube videos that I watch either, but it was just very nice, and I feel like that is what people who don't create videos contribute to YouTube, is like, I know there are many creators, including myself, who would do it even if they weren't paid for it, even if they don't have thousands or hundreds of thousands of people watching. They do it because they enjoy it, and it's not to say that they don't or take anything away from that, but I do feel like a lot of creators kind of get a boost or get more out of it when they do have an audience that does engage with them or that does take the time to comment or whatever way that they're interacting. And so, to anyone who comments on my videos, thank you so much, and just know that it makes me happy to see people enjoying my videos. And I know that sometimes they're really chaotic, sometimes they're very tangenty like this, but it makes me really happy when people seem to enjoy it anyway. And I don't know, maybe people who also are neurodiverse appreciate the crazy ramblings and random tangents, because I don't know, I feel like when I listen to videos that are, or watch videos that are really heavily edited to just be super succinct and just like, this is what is happening and here it is, and they cut out a lot of gameplay or discussion to try and completely streamline whatever they're doing to make it more succinct. I know that there are definitely people who enjoy that kind of video, and it's not that I don't, but sometimes it's like, oh, I wanted to see more of that, or oh, like they started this tangent but cut themselves off to be like, oh, I need to focus on what we're talking about in this video and not just completely rant about something. And it's like, oh wait, but that sounded interesting, I want to know. So I don't know if anyone else relates to that at all when they watch my videos or other people's videos that are longer and more tangenty is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, because I like a variety of things, but I do definitely think it's fun, especially if it's a game that I feel like I might want to play. If it's super heavily edited with, like, cutting out any downtime, I feel like then I go into the game with a false impression of what to do in the game. Because sometimes if I'm playing a game and it's new to me and I don't really know what I'm doing and I don't have friends who know what they're doing, I'll watch someone else play it to try and get ideas of what to do with it. And I think one really good example of one that gave me a lot of misconceptions because of how people played it was Subnautica, which I have not played on this channel, but I have played it. And people would cut out so much, and not everyone, but a lot of the people that I saw would cut out when they're going off to gather materials. They'd be like, oh, I need this, this, and this to build whatever, so I'll be back when I have it. And so then I'd be like, wait a second, but I need that thing too, and now you cut out that whole section, so I have no idea where to look for what I need. I don't know. That's just one example that that's one example that I thought of, just randomly. But I do feel like there's also some games that, in my opinion, I would enjoy, like, I would cut more in my own editing versus ones where I leave them pretty unedited. Stardew Valley, I almost never edit out things in the middle. I'm trying to think if I ever have. I don't think so. Strange Horticulture, I don't edit out things in the middle. Usually, a few times in a couple of my Strange Horticulture videos, you might be able to notice there is a cut. That was because my computer decided to have, like, another app pop up in the middle and be like, update! Ah! So then I had to get rid of that and make sure my recording was still going well and stuff like that. So I've cut things like that. The one that I have really actually cut a lot more than any other game on my channel is my time at Portia, because that one, it's kind of similar to Stardew Valley, but the thing about Stardew Valley is I know what I'm doing because I was introduced to it by a friend. And so when by the time I started recording, I had already played like 100 hours of it by myself. And so I know what I'm doing, and I know where I'm going, and I know who to talk to for this, and for the most part. I don't know everything. I was recording a video earlier today. I'm like, what are the prerequisites for unlocking the boat? Because I can't remember. I think it's probably being a certain amount of friends with Willy. But, you know, it's like, I, in general, know what I'm doing in that game. And it became a thing in my time at Portia where, because I didn't have that experience, I was kind of wandering for a really long time and just being like, what do I do? Like, what is this? And so it wasn't even a thing of like, oh, I need to go gather materials and it will take a while, I'll cut this out. It was like, it was just me standing somewhere being like, okay, the mines are somewhere, but I'm so lost. I literally got completely lost trying to find them at one point. And so it's like, my time at Portia, there are definitely things where I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I've been spending like 10 minutes of real time trying to find this one thing, and it's just me walking and going, where is it? Where is it? What am I doing? Like, I have no idea. And so I just was basically like, okay, I am not going to make people sit through this all and watch all of this. But I try to keep in most of the stuff of like, oh, here's where I went to find this material or that. I should play that game again. It's been probably like a year or almost a year since I played that game. It's been a long time. I can't even remember when the last time I played it was. I think not quite a year because I think I was still in my house that I was in before this one where I'm recording this, which I will not be... I might still be in this house, just barely, when this video is uploaded. I talked about it in an earlier video, but I have been kind of going insane and doing a ton of recordings all at once right now, so I have a lot of videos that are gonna come out weeks after I record them, just because of how many I've recorded per day in, like, the last week. Which honestly is convenient because I am going to be moving again in June. This video will probably be coming out in June. I'm recording it on May 21st? 22nd. It's after midnight. Technically 22nd. But this is gonna be out sometime in June. Yeah. But... I don't know why, I've just had a random couple weeks where I've been, or like a week and a half, where suddenly I've just been like, I want to record so much, and I'll do like 3 or 4 recordings a day. And so today, well, technically it's after midnight, but, like, within this time period that I have been awake recently, I have already, this is my 4th, is it? Yes, it is, because I recorded this, no, wait, so I recorded The Wandering Village, I recorded Strange Horticulture, I recorded this, then I recorded a Stardew Valley video, and now I'm recording this again. This is my 5th video today that I'm recording. So, yeah, I kind of went a little bit insane with the recordings, but it is going to be nice because then when I am moving and things are really chaotic and I'm going back home for the summer and if I'm traveling and stuff, I will be able to have a lot out and not miss uploads, hopefully. And also not stress about getting videos out while I'm also moving. So yeah, that's kind of my chaotic life that's been happening right now. This has been... I've been a lot more talkative in this episode than I was in the episode before, and I've realized that I think that when it's later at night, I talk a lot more in videos. I think in the day, I'm more distracted by things outside of my room and where I'm directly recording. Like right now, I've pretty much exclusively been paying attention to Cosmos and the screen of my computer. But in the day, I'm like looking out the window and being like, that's an interesting bird, or like, oh, it's really windy today, or something like that. Which it has been very windy recently, and it actually was raining earlier, which is very weird. But anyway, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's at night I get way more tangenty. Alright. I'm gonna go back to Mesozoic for a little bit. So close to getting this Triceratops leveled up again. I could just do the asteroid, but I want all the things. Okay, I think I'm gonna start clicking again because I'm kind of close to being able to get this. I also want to level this up. I feel like this game is becoming my new random rants and tangents series. Like, the nature of this game allows me to just talk about really crazy things, and all of the things that I read in it and the little pieces of information remind me of random things, and then I'm like, oh, I should talk about that, or something. And it's definitely kind of fun, for me at least, to be able to just record and be like, let me talk about terrible horror movies, or book-to-movie adaptations, or my thoughts on whether or not YouTube is social media in the same way that other things are social media. And also say, in every single video, there is so much clicking. If I increase this, how much is it per second? Okay. Nah. Another way that I think that, YouTube dynamic is different than social media like Facebook. And also, I need to preface what I'm about to say by, and also kind of amend something from before. I know that people do, like, create content on Facebook and on Instagram and on other social medias. And that's not what I'm talking about when I'm describing the difference. I'm talking about using it as, like, a random user interacting with people. The majority of people on a lot of social media that I know of are just people connecting with friends or acquaintances or following celebrities or actors or influencers or whoever it is that they enjoy. And it's kind of a minority who is actually posting content to those things. Anyway, another thing that I do think that the people who are not creating content on YouTube do that's different than, like, friend or acquaintance interactions on social media is, like, YouTube has the whole community page, or whatever that's called, community tab, I guess. And, so there's this very interesting dynamic of the people watching a person's channel can help to influence or affect kind of what that person does, to an extent. Like, I feel like if someone bases their entire what they're doing on that could be kind of difficult for them, and also then they just keep having to live up to the expectations of whoever's watching. Anyway, but for me at least, it's like, okay, I was wondering about if people would be interested in seeing a certain type of video, and I asked on my community tab, and people responded, and I was like, okay, good to know. I'll keep in mind to do more of this, or kind of figuring out through interactions how to make myself more, I don't know how to explain it well, because it's not that I'm trying to, like, cater to anyone, but to kind of return some of the interaction from people who watch my videos. And so I'm working on making a Discord server because I asked on that if people would be interested in that and having more of an interaction and potentially opening it up to certain multiplayer games with people who watch the channel, and people were interested in it. And I feel like that's not an interaction that you have on Instagram. Like, I do have friends who will be like, I'm indecisive about this or that, like, tell me what you think, or whatever, to their followers. But there's less of this, like, hi guys, I'm deciding if I should do this, like, thing for you, my friends who follow me, kind of interaction on other platforms. Because again, it is more often people who know the person in real life or in some way that's a little bit more of like an actual interaction than on YouTube, where like I do have videos where you see what I look like now. My multiplayer videos, I do use webcam because that way it's not confusing who's talking, or if we're both saying something at the same time sometimes, then it's easier to kind of follow that. But it's like, for the most part, you're just watching a video I make, but you don't actually see me as I'm recording this video. Or, like, we don't really know each other. And so it is definitely a very different interaction than an interaction like on a smaller, like, acquaintance to acquaintance type social media. I feel like I'm not explaining this well. It's complicated. Words are interesting. Although I do feel like something that YouTube has more than maybe some other social media that I do think is a negative effect is how sometimes creators, and it's typically not in like gaming creators quite as much, but there are definitely creators who become, and it isn't exclusive to YouTube either, but they become so focused on needing content that it negatively impacts their life. Like, I know there's been a ton of discussion and controversy and thoughts about, like, family content creators and how, like, is that exploitation, or, also, like, yes, I got 50 of them. Also, like, when are parents not paying attention to their kids because they're too busy making sure something's perfect for a video kind of thing. Speaking of that, child labor was common in the industrial era. Children as young as 4 or 5 worked in factories and mines, often suffering terrible mistreatment and injuries or death. Yes, child labor. Anyway, so there's been this whole discussion about child labor and, like, are YouTube family creators exploiting child labor? Anyway, and that's not exclusively what I'm saying when I'm talking about this, but there are definitely people who are like, I'm not gonna enjoy this cool place I'm at just to enjoy it. I'm going to film it. Or people who will go to a specific place only to film it. I don't understand that. I love taking pictures. If I'm, like, I took so many pictures and videos in Yellowstone because I was genuinely super fascinated by it. And I wanted to remember it, and I wanted to have pictures to look at and videos to, like, remember what it was like and kind of experience it again. And that isn't what I'm talking about. I did ultimately make that into a video on the channel as well, but it was a thing where most of the time that I was there, I wasn't on my phone and I wasn't taking pictures. I would take pictures when I saw something that I thought was particularly cool, and I was like, oh, I would love to, like, have this later to print and put in a photo album, or, like, make into a puzzle, or put in a slideshow. But it wasn't like, let me just turn my selfie stick and be like, hi guys, we're here in Yellowstone, or anything like that. Yeah, annoying vlogger voice. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a difference between going somewhere cool and experiencing it and wanting to take photos or videos to remember it, versus people who are like, I need to go out to Yellowstone specifically to vlog that I went to Yellowstone, kind of thing. If that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like I might not be getting things across well. And I'm not trying to say that people who do that are, like, bad or wrong. It's just something that they like to do. I personally think it's a little bit sad when I see these really beautiful environments. I've seen it a lot, and it's especially people of my age, too. And this goes back to my thing about, I think, by not getting... I wasn't on social media until I was, like... I was on Facebook earlier, but I never use it. But I wasn't on Instagram until I was 17. I basically only got it initially to promote my book. And so it's like, because I don't feel like I need to post everything, that might be part of it, but I'm not one to take a lot of selfies. And so for me, it's kind of sad when I'm at these really cool places and I I'm taking pictures of my surroundings and, like, what I'm there to see. And other people are taking pictures of themselves in front of it, and it's like, that's cool, but also you're blocking, like, the main view, like, of what you're experiencing. And I just have never, it's not to say that they're doing something wrong, it's just I've never understood that. And I've always been like, wait, but why would you want a picture of your face next to some, like, cliffs if you could instead get a picture without your face, but get the full scope of the Grand Canyon, you know? Like, that's a specific example that I saw where it was like, okay, like, they were asking me to take a picture for them, and they wanted it, like, super tight on their face. And I have no problem when people ask me, like, hey, can you take a picture of us in front of whatever? Like, sure, I'll do it. But I was just like, wait, but you're at the Grand Canyon and you want just your face? It's gonna just be your face in a pine tree. It's not gonna, like, show off where you are at all. And I was just kind of like, aw, like, there's so much cooler things you could take pictures of here than your face. Which sounds mean. I don't know. I feel like I'm coming across as really judgy. If that's what you enjoy doing, go ahead and do it. It's basically however you enjoy where you're going and how you want to have your vacation or whatever you're doing. However, I feel like if you want to take pictures of your face, you don't have to go somewhere to do that. So if you're going somewhere specifically for content, why can't you do the same content not there? I guess. Like, I don't know. I feel like what I'm trying to say is not making sense at all. Let me figure out a way to reword this. Okay, people who go to the Grand Canyon, I'm gonna keep using that as an example. People who go to the Grand Canyon to be like, I'm gonna go to the Grand Canyon because it's really cool, and I want to take a picture in front of it because I'm here and it's cool. That is fine, and I will take pictures for you. Like, yes, I think you should have more of the Grand Canyon in the picture than you're asking me to have, but, you know, it's fine, it's cool. What I am trying to say that I do have a slight issue with is it's like the people who are like, I need to go to the Grand Canyon so that I can post to whatever social media or vlog to YouTube or whatever that I went to the Grand Canyon. And, like, if you're already wanting to go to the Grand Canyon, I guess that's fine. But if you're like, I need content, I need to just smash in a trip to the Grand Canyon, it's like, well, but if you're only going because you want content, like, there are other ways to get content. If you're going there because you want to go to the Grand Canyon and you would enjoy it for the Grand Canyon if you weren't also filming it, go for it, that's fine. If your only reason is like, I don't care at all about the Grand Canyon, but people on the internet think the Grand Canyon is cool, so if I post that I went to the Grand Canyon, people will watch it. That is what I don't like very much. I think I finally figured out how to word it correctly. It's if you don't care about the place you are or the thing you're doing at all, and you're only doing it because of views, or because of you think it will make you more popular. That is, in my opinion, not the reason you should go to somewhere really cool and enjoy it. I'm trying to think if what I said is coming across correctly or if it's coming across insulting. Ultimately, I don't want to say that any way of doing these things is, like, wrong. Because to some people, that might just be what they enjoy. It's more that it's something that I would never do, and I feel like it's kind of sad if people do, because it's like, if you are going to someplace so amazing that's like the Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, or like these other places, it might not even be like a wilderness place, it could be, I don't know, Disneyland or Times Square, something. If you go there because you want to go there, that's, like, I'm happy for you, enjoy yourself. It's more of like, I guess I'll go to this place because it's popular right now and get content there and then leave immediately without spending time to actually appreciate it. I guess it basically, after talking about it, I figured out it basically boils down to people who are so focused on content that they don't appreciate what they're experiencing. Like, it's so much about the content that it's not like, oh, this is so cool that I'm in Yellowstone. It's like, wait, is my camera angle right? Is the lighting good? It's like, you shouldn't be caring about that in a place like this, you know? And I think that the problem with a lot of what I've heard, I don't really watch family channels, but I've heard a lot of people are really upset with that as a whole because, number one, child exploitation, child labor. But also that a lot of the parents are not, like, being present with their kids because they're, like, talking about, like, oh, we have to look perfect on camera, we have to, like, pretend we're this flawless family, or like, oh no, you're hurt, pose, and then I'll put a band-aid on you. Like, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with it, but that seems like that's kind of what's happening with certain channels, or a lot of channels. I don't know, family vlog channels, but that seems to be what a lot of people are upset about on the internet. But, like, I do feel like it's very much, oh yes, Saturn is doing it. Oh, yes. Okay. I think it's just how, now that I've, like, figured out the way I want to say it, and I've said it a few times, I think that what I'm basically upset, or not upset, it's not like I'm, upset isn't the right word. It just makes me a little bit sad that people, especially of my generation and younger, are so not present in the world because of social media and because of, like, that kind of drive to need views or to need fame or whatever they're needing from their content. And it's like, are you doing it because you enjoy what you're doing, or are you doing it because you want people to engage with what you're posting? I guess is kind of what it breaks down to. Because I feel like if you can make content that you enjoy and that you want other people to enjoy, then do it, go for it, have fun with it. That's what I'm doing right now. But if I ever were to be like, ugh, I guess I'll play this game I hate just because it's super popular on YouTube and I want to, like, get all the views because everyone's watching this game. Personally, I would be unhappy with that. I would be miserable. I would also feel like I'm not being authentic to myself as, like, I want to create what I would want to watch and what I want to create when it's gaming. I want to create what I want to play. And if it's like more of a vlog style thing or a travel thing, it's like I want to go to this place already, so I might as well like film a little bit. But I'm not gonna film like every single second of what I'm doing if I'm in a special place. I might film like if I ever do like a camping vlog or something, which I might. I don't know. I might do like a time lapse of making a tent or a fire or whatever. But I wouldn't be like actively holding a camera and being out of the interaction with people I'm with just for content. Anyway, I got Vesta to rank 5. Vesta's surface resembles that of Earth's moon, with many light and dark patches. Probes have identified these plains as plains of basalt rock, indicating that lava may have once flowed on the asteroid's surface. Nice. Yeah, random distraction to talk about that. But yeah, it's just like it's hard to kind of put into words. Because it's like, I don't want to say that I'm never gonna do something. Like, I might vlog a trip I go on. I might vlog a camping trip or a hike or something like that, you know? And I think the distinction that I'm trying to make is the thing that I don't like is when that becomes the most important part of it, is the content. It's not like, oh, look, I'm on this really cool hike. It's like, hey, viewers, do you see that I'm on this hike? It's not like, oh, I'm on this hike and I want to share it with people or be able to look back on it. It's, I'll go on this hike so people watch it. I don't know. It's hard to explain, I think. And I know that everyone's gonna create posts or content or whatever they're doing in their own way, or not create content, which is also totally fine. I just look at, like, the way that some people are so focused on needing a certain kind of like audience or attention, and they kind of live for that rather than living and sharing what they're doing and enjoying with their audience, I guess. It's really hard to put this into words, or at least the correct words. I don't know. Also, like I said, I don't get paid for any of the content that I create on YouTube. I am not monetized. I am not getting ad revenue. I am not getting, like, what are they called? Members? I don't know. There's something that I can get sooner than I can get ad revenue, in terms of, like, requirements I have to meet if I want to get monetized. And I'm not getting monetized in any of those ways at all whatsoever. And so maybe it is something where if people are relying on it as their complete income, they do kind of have to... Well, that's hard. I feel like maybe some people might have to be like, I need income, I need to make the most popular thing. But I feel like if I were to get monetized, I would still want to create what I want to create and what I enjoy creating. Even if I'm getting paid for it. I don't know. It is kind of a little bit difficult to think about because I am not in the situation where that is my income and that is, like, supporting me financially. So, for me, if a video gets fewer views, it's like, oh, people aren't interested very much. Like, that kind of is sad because I had fun making this, but also I made it for myself and to have fun with it. And I enjoyed making it, so the fact that not as many people watched it doesn't, like, completely destroy my enjoyment of it. And then there are some times where way more people than I'm expecting watch a video, and it makes me happy, but I'm not like, I have to get this many views or I will lose my house. I don't know. And so I guess it would probably be different if you are using it as your primary income, but at the same time, I'm trying to imagine a situation where I would choose to make content that I don't really enjoy just to have more money. It might just be because money is not really a huge priority to me in terms of, like, future goals. Like, obviously I want to be able to have enough money to make a living. I hope I'll be able to. I'm autistic. That's going to be difficult because the autistic unemployment rate is very, very bad. But, it's like, I know that there are things that I value much more than wealth. And I think that there's a difference, in my mind at least, to me personally, not to everyone, not to speak for anyone other than myself. But I do understand that money is important in terms of, like, being able to live and have a house and have necessities. Like, yes, that is true. But I've never really been the type of person who's like, I want the highest paying job. I want the $5 billion mansion. I just kind of want a place where I can live for, like, my needs, or if I ever have a partner or a family, who knows if that's gonna happen, but if I ever do, like, the needs of the people who I'm living with. Like, right now, the needs of the person I'm living with is a fenced-in yard so that Cosmos can go outside. But, like, I don't think that I would make content just for money. If that was the driving factor for making content, I wouldn't be doing it. I would be probably suffering in medical or law school if I was like, I want the really high-paying job. I have a couple of relatives. Two of my relatives, it's a doctor married to a lawyer, and they have a really nice house. But also, it's like, would I want to work a job I'm not enjoying just to have that lifestyle? Probably not. So, for me, it's more like, I want to be happy with what I'm doing, not with wealth, I guess. And I feel like probably the people who are more focused on wealth or fame are the ones who are going out of their way to do things that they might not be enjoying just for doing them, just to have money or wealth. This is an interesting... Well, I guess it's not a discussion, because I'm just sitting here recording by myself. But this is an interesting monologue, I guess, because I started off being like, I don't get these people, and now it's like, huh, I bet that's why they do it. I personally wouldn't do it for those reasons, and I feel like it's sad that some people do when they are missing out on things in the world because they're too focused on content, fame, money, whatever it is that they're focused on. But at the same time, maybe they just have a completely different motivation and different priorities, and there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like there is a problem with it if it's affecting other people who may not have the same priorities or motivations. And I guess that kind of goes back to another thing that I've heard a lot of people are upset with family vloggers about, is like, if the children of family vloggers don't really get a say in whether they're being filmed. Which I definitely think is a huge, like, breach of privacy and kind of a shitty thing to do. If they don't want to be filmed and the parent is still filming them anyway. Again, I don't know what the actual situations are. I don't watch that type of channel. But, yeah, I feel like one of the things kind of on that topic, but also kind of like back to my point about people who go to places specifically for content, is that I feel like people who do that need to be aware that there are people there who are not there for that, and that them being there for content does not make them more entitled to things than people who are there to just be there. And again, this is going back to a trip that I was on where there was like this one particular vista point, and it was like on top of a little like tower area. You like walked up some steps, and it was a place where there just wasn't a lot of space, and you kind of had to wait your turn to look at this vista point. And most people would go and take a couple pictures or look for a couple minutes, but then move on, like, because they all knew and were aware that there were people waiting and they wanted to give people turns. And then this couple came up and started, like, vlogging what they were doing, and they were doing their whole intro and their whole, like, we drove 12 hours to be here, and we are here now on the, and they like talked for about 3 minutes about just the process of getting there before they even said where they were. And they chose to do it, of all places, on this tiny place where tons of people were waiting for a turn to be there. And they were like just chatting away to a camera. They weren't even looking at what they were doing, or like where they were. They also weren't even like pointing the camera at the view. They were pointing it at themselves. And it was like they were up there for so long that one of the park rangers had to like make them leave and either like, you have 30 seconds to finish here or go do this somewhere else, because so many people were waiting, and they took like the amount of time the last 4 people combined had taken. So I do feel like the kind of attitude that influencers or content creators are like above other people and should be like given special privileges, or like should get away with things that are kind of just them being selfish and completely blind to the situation and unaware of, like, you know, there are people waiting kind of thing. That I do also have a problem with, because it's like, if you want to go stand somewhere where no one else is and film about what you're doing and make your intro, and then walk up here and be like, here's like a 30-second clip of this really cool place. Do that. But if you're gonna take up time that other people are spending waiting for a thing just to film something that you don't necessarily have to film there because you're not even showing them the thing that people are there to look at, do it somewhere else. I don't know. That's something that I personally try to be really aware of if I am filming somewhere that is not my house. Or even if I'm filming at, like, my parents' house, where it's, like, there are other people around, is I try to be very aware of what's going on and who's around me and what might make them uncomfortable. Like, I've done a couple of vlogs where I've gone into a store or something and I will film a tiny bit in the store, but I'll try to keep it very minimal because I don't want to make it uncomfortable for other people in the store. Or, like, make it awkward, because I know I've definitely been in stores where someone is, like, walking around a store talking to a camera and, like, their friend is filming and I'm just like, okay, I don't know if I want to be, like, around them or involved in this. So I try to be, like, very casual about it and try to not get anyone in the camera as much as I can. And I feel like some people just have no awareness for, like, who they are, who or what they're capturing in the background or whatever, if it's a vlog type thing, if they're, like, talking to someone, it's like, does that person agree to be in this video? Who knows? I don't know. It's kind of a complicated question, and I think it becomes a really interesting kind of ethical thing in the social media age of, like, privacy and consent to be filmed or to be posted. And I know there's a lot of laws about that when it comes to posting anything with children in it, but I don't think that that applies to, like, if you film in a store and happen to film the cashier. Like, did the cashier agree to be in that? Who knows? Like, there's no way to really verify that or check. And so I feel like people could be making someone uncomfortable, but there's no way to really enforce not doing that. So, I don't know. This became like a whole way more in-depth discussion than I was originally anticipating it to be. But now that I'm talking about it, I think it is very, very interesting to consider. And I feel like I need to make sure that I don't think I'll have too much of a problem with this, but I never want to have a situation where I go against any of what I've just said. And it's not just like, oh, I don't want to, like, make someone uncomfortable. It's like, I never want to get to a point where I'm doing something just for content if it isn't something that I would already want to do or already be doing. And so it's like, well, and also to amend that statement a little bit, I think I do a little bit in the regard that if I am doing a vlog or something, I might, like, tidy my house a little bit more. But that's different than going to a specific place just to film. Anyway. Aztec epidemic. I have survived it. Okay. Aztec smallpox. Infected population 5 to 8 million plus. Infected death rate 30 to 100%. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. So that's basically, like, I I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing in the future, if I become more popular on this channel, I don't ever want it to be a thing where I am making things only to have people watch them. I will make things for people to watch, and I will continue to do that. But I don't want it to be like, I have to play this game because that will get me views. It's like, I want to be able to be genuine to who I am without being affected by, like, knowing that people are watching. I guess that's a little bit hard to say because I feel like if you know people are watching you, you'll always be affected in some way. But it's like, I never want to lose sight of why I'm doing it and what I want to accomplish with it just because of people watching and just because of content. Like, I want to be able to enjoy what I'm doing, but also have people enjoy it, but not make it in a way where it's like, I have to do this because people are watching. I have to do this because I want to make sure that, like, more people watch than are currently watching. I have to go to this place because that's what people want to see. I don't ever want to become like that. I know like I did say before too, I feel like I am not explaining this well. I feel like I do like to hear feedback on what people want for my channel. Like I was talking about my community page, and I do enjoy when people are like, oh, we like this game, we want to see more of it, or that kind of thing. But it's more like if people were commenting, we want you to play this game, and I look at the game and I'm like, oh, I would really hate this game, but they want it, so I have to. That's more what I mean by not wanting to be influenced by it. Like, I don't want to sacrifice, this sounds selfish, but I don't want to sacrifice my own enjoyment of what I'm doing for views, because I feel like if I did that, I'd lose my enjoyment for it, and it would be really hard for me to be as excited and enthusiastic about what I'm doing. And, like, whenever I start a video, especially certain games, I'll usually say, like, hi, welcome back, I'm super excited to play whatever. And that isn't just me saying that. I am genuinely very excited to play the games that I'm currently playing, and I'm definitely having a lot of fun with them. One of them keeps crashing all the time, and that is not as fun, but that is not the game itself that I'm not enjoying, it's the technical difficulty associated with the game. Same as the whole mouse thing that sometimes happens in this game. I'm still really enjoying the game, I just don't like it when the mouse doesn't respond. But, like, I guess it's more, like, personally, I really don't like first-person shooter games. I, number one, am very bad at them. Number two, I don't like that kind of violence in a video game. And that's not to say I'm not. There are certain types of video games that are violent, and I'm fine with it. I'm playing Baldur's Gate, and that has violence in it. But that's not just, like, running around shooting people. I also, kind of similarly, I'm not super big into zombie apocalypse games. I've played some with my friend at her house, and they're kind of the same. I've played Halo also at her house, and like, they're just not really my type of game. Not to say they're a bad game, I know tons of people enjoy them, but for me personally, I don't get enjoyment out of them, and also I'm very, very bad at them. So I would not have any fun if I were trying to record a video of that. And I also feel like I wouldn't have as much to contribute to discussion in a game where I was genuinely not enjoying myself, because I would be like trying to focus on just like getting through it, kind of. And so I think that sometimes when a creator begins to put all of the focus onto doing everything that their audience wants and making changes to themselves or their content specifically to cater to an audience and not because they would be doing it anyway, it kind of shows in what they're doing. I have watched a channel that I've watched for a while, and there was a point where they were playing a game, and normally they were very, very upbeat and just very excited about what they were doing and very, like, talkative and had a lot of interesting things to say. And then they started playing another game that they really didn't enjoy, and they also started doing less of like exclusively games and started trying to do vlogs, which they didn't enjoy at all. But it was because people wanted to watch it. And it felt like their entire excitement for what they were doing kind of left. And, like, it just became a thing of, you could hear it in the way that they spoke and in the way that they, like, talked about what they were doing. It was very much like, okay, guess I have to do this vlog. I hate it. It's making me uncomfortable. But people want to see it, so I have to. And it was so clear in that shift from what they were enjoying doing to what they were doing because they felt like they should be doing it. And I never want to end up like that. And that person ended up deleting their entire channel because it got to a point where people were following the channel just because of that kind of content that they hated to create, and so they just kind of were like, I have no motivation to keep this going anymore. Which really sucks, and it sucks that people, like, I've had people recommend games to me on my channel, and I'm definitely open-minded to, like, oh yeah, I'll take a look and see if that's something I want to play. But I also feel like if someone really wants to see a certain type of content and the person that they already follow doesn't necessarily do that content, I just don't really understand why some people want to try and urge someone to do something that they really don't enjoy to the point of, like, pressuring them into doing it, if they could find a completely different channel that's already doing that. Like, there are so many gaming channels on YouTube, but there are also so many vlogging channels on YouTube, and there are some that do both, or some of one and a lot of the other, or, you know, there's a whole variety of people. And I feel like it's definitely fine to say, like, hey, whatever creator that I enjoy, I saw this game and I thought, like, you might enjoy it. Or if the person posts on something like, would you be interested in seeing this? Then, like, yes. Answer honestly whether you would. But if someone does exclusively game content and suddenly you're like, make vlogs. We only want to see you make vlogs. It's like, they're probably not making vlogs because they probably wouldn't be enjoying making vlogs. Maybe they would and they've just never tried it. But I don't understand why some people are like trying to get a certain creator to do something they don't normally do when that creator already is enjoying what they're doing, just to get to watch that from that creator. Like, shouldn't you find someone already doing it and watch them do it? I don't know. Like, maybe I just don't understand how people work, which is probably true. I'm autistic. I don't know how people work in a lot of ways. But I don't know. It just seems like kind of a weird thing to me for people to be like, I like your channel for your gaming content, but you know what? Let's not watch your gaming content and have you make vlog content. I think if creators do both and want to, go for it. That's fine. I do. I have some vlog stuff, not as much as gaming stuff, but it is there. But it's like, I feel like if I did exclusively vlog content, I would not be happy. I enjoy game content more. Partly because it's fun. Secondly, I find it less stressful than vlog content, because with vlog content, for me, it's like I always have to be like, okay, I need to make sure, like, my phone is charged enough that it's not gonna die during this time lapse, and I need to make sure that, like, if I'm doing something that isn't completely inside, like, I need to always be super aware of, like, am I showing the outside of my house? Am I showing my street name? Am I showing my license plate? Am I showing my address? Am I showing, like, any kind of identifying information? And I have to be worried about that. And then I have to, like, there's a lot more editing for me that goes into vlogs, and I do it, and it's not that I don't like it, but it's like I have to be, I have to have the time to sit down and really edit carefully, especially if it's a thing where I think I might have accidentally shown a thing. I have to look very closely to be like, okay, my street name isn't visible there. And again, like, I want to make sure that I'm not getting people in my vlogs who don't want to be in vlogs, and it's more of like a social thing than just playing a game by myself. And another thing for me with vlogs too is, I don't know what it is, but my recording, or not my recording, my editing software on one device that I have is lagging the audio to the video when I put in, like, clips filmed on my phone. And so what happens then is that I have to upload it to a different computer, and that computer takes a lot longer to upload things to. And so the process of, like, transferring all the files and stuff is a lot more time consuming than just, like, filming a video, editing it quickly, and getting it uploading immediately. And so for me, the schedule of uploads that I have, gaming is much more suited for than vlogging. If I ever were to do vlogging full time, it would probably be like a once a week type thing. But it's like, I enjoy it sometimes. I don't know. This has kind of been a much longer tangent than I was expecting. This became a whole, like, ethical, philosophical, what is YouTube, what is social media, what is, like, not like what is correct for content creators, but like what is correct for me as a content creator, I guess, is kind of what this turned into. I had so much timeline left. How long are you supposed to spend on this? Probably every hour of it. Yeah, but that was fun. That was a really interesting kind of turn this episode went to. I think it's getting into that thing of people having a lower filter at night because they're tired. I'm not particularly tired right now, but also it is 2 a.m. I didn't get up very early, so this is probably around like 10 p.m. for an average person. Quote, average. I don't know what average people do, but it's not my sleep schedule. If someone gets up for like a normal 9 to 5, my schedule version of that, it would be around 10 p.m., I'm assuming, for them right now, if that is their schedule. That is not my schedule, so I don't know. But I definitely do think that I am much more talkative at night. I think also at night I just am less, like I said, less distracted by external things. But also I do think that I think better because one of my biggest autistic things for sensory things is light. And at night, light is a much more controllable thing for me, and so it's less distracting. But yeah, this was a very interesting kind of random several tangents, but mainly this one about YouTube and content creation. And hopefully the history of my channel, or not the history, the future of my channel, is that I continue to create things that I'm enjoying creating and that other people are enjoying watching, and I can do it without betraying myself and what I want to do, and also without inconveniencing and causing problems for others. That is my goal. And that is basically the point that I was trying to make of what other people should also be prioritizing in their content creation. But with that, I'm going to leave this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!